What's up, y'all? It's popping. It's D. Boss here, reacts to this vid by Queen Choma. This is the Kardashians finally admit to toxic beauty standards that they helped create, as they should. It's called accountability. Love to see it. Let's see what they got to say, though. Let's watch.
So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Choma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about the Kardashians seemingly acknowledging the role they have played in toxic beauty standards over the last decade and a half. So in a recent preview of their new season to their show on Hulu, you hear Kylie Jenner kind of summoning her sisters to discuss what role they have played in setting beauty standards for the entire world. So let's take a look.
To have a bigger conversation about the beauty standards that we're setting.
It's already done, girl. The damage is done.
To do the things I did. I wish I'd never touched anything to begin with.
How's everything going with Tristan?
I don't think I believe that, though, because if you didn't touch nothing, you wouldn't be the Kylie Jenner we know today, because nobody was checking for you, to be honest. Not being rude. It's just, it is what it is. They call her the ugly sister.
Where do you guys stand? I think he thinks, so let's just ride this out.
But no chances. We know how to have fun together. We know how to be there for each other. But only at a superficial level.
What? This tension goes way back.
Family is what I value the most. So I just feel very anxious.
I just don't think everything's gonna be okay.
So I really do want to get into this, but I feel like all of this is a PR and marketing strategy. Because let's be real, do the Kardashians really care? No. I highly doubt it. But let's really talk about this because it is always interesting to hold them accountable. So ironically enough, there was a story that recently went viral, and it was about an OnlyFans model who unfortunately passed away because she was on this quest to look exactly like Kim Kardashian. So she received illegal butt injections, and of course the woman who administered them has recently been arrested, but it is kind of crazy. So the Jasmine brand reports a woman has been jailed in connection to the death of Kim Kardashian lookalike Christina Ashton Gorkani. According to the news reports, 50-year-old Vivian Gomez was arrested at the Fort Lauderdale airport on April 20th and charged with 2 felonies, involuntary manslaughter and practicing medicine without a license, after administering illegal butt injections to Christina Ashton Gorkani. As previously reported, the OnlyFans model, who is reportedly obsessed with looking like TV reality star Kim Kardashian, died last month after suffering from a heart attack following the illegal procedure. Dr. Michael K. Obang, a board-certified plastic surgeon, spoke out against the dangerous injections during a recent interview and said, "Most of these illegal injections are made with silicone, and silicone or any foreign substance can migrate within the body, which can lead to an infection and hardness over time, deforming parts of the body." So I find this ironic that this story comes out around the same time that they say this in their preview, but I also find it even more ironic that it's coming from Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner is the youngest of the Kardashian sisters, and I would argue that she has the most work done. And maybe it's not the most work, but it is the most dramatic change out of everybody. And I started looking back at some pictures of Kylie when she was younger, and of course there's a drastic change between the before and the after, but I feel like Kylie Jenner literally looked like a regular white girl. I don't even think I would call any of them ugly prior to surgery and fame. They just look like regular white women. I mean, Kim Kardashian to me is beautiful without the surgery, but their heightened vanity and access to the best plastic surgeons definitely played a role into what they did to themselves and what they are projecting. Now, I can kind of also argue that I don't think the Kardashians ever said that they were trying to set beauty standards or body standards in the beginning. I think they did what every celebrity does once they cascade into a higher level of fame, which is have the extra money to tweak different things about themselves. I feel like everyone in Hollywood has work done, so I'm not going to chastise them more than the next person for that. But I think what people are turned off about is how much they have lied, how much money they've pretty much scammed because of the fake imagery that they've put out, and how easy it is for them to switch around the look that they promoted for the past decade. I still think that every Kardashian sister is a victim of their mother because their mother will go to what's end for them to be seen in a certain light, even if she does push the boundaries. She helped Kim Kardashian leak a consensual sex tape. She allowed underage Kylie Jenner to date a man almost 8 years her senior when she was just a teenager. She really only started to focus on Khloe when she lost the weight and she was able to fit their image. And she definitely pushed Kendall into the world of high fashion modeling so that she can dominate in that industry through their their connects, money, and relevance. Kourtney may be the only one that is somewhat unscathed, but when you think about all that Kris Jenner has done in regards to her daughter's brands, everything goes back to looks. Everything is about optics. Not gonna lie, she did a damn good job, but at the same time, what she's doing is sinister, and it did trickle onto her children, even if they should have known better. Kylie and Kendall are younger and grew up with the TV show and the cameras as a part of their lives, so it's actually more unfortunate for them because they didn't really have a choice. A lot of times in these affluent families, especially the white ones, they literally are going to follow the family business regardless of what that is. And I think for the Kardashians, their family business has been setting toxic beauty trends and being seen as these sexy siren sisters who are irresistible to all different types of men, and that brand has worked for them for years. Now that the general population is mildly transitioning to a more natural, simple, and authentic way of life through lifestyle, beauty, and everything in between, the Kardashians are just not the look. Even with some of their businesses, I feel like they're just stuck in like 2014 to 2018 era of how they promote, what they put out, and how relatable their brands are. So this shift does affect their entire existence, and it's interesting to see them acknowledge what they have done and how much influence they've had on the culture of women over the last like 15 years. So I wanted to talk about this further because I think it's intriguing that they know what's up, and also that society has kind of officially told the Kardashians that we're onto them and we're over them. So I've broken this video down into one overall main talking point. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my first and overall main talking point is this is the Kardashians' fault. I know we like to say that the Kardashians are not the only entity to ever influence body changes and what women look up to in regards to the beauty department. And of course, that is facts. All of this goes way back before their existence. But like I always say, when you enter the mix of accessibility of social media, plus the human nature of desire, and how much it's usually fueled through the certain figures in entertainment, it literally yields the over a decade-long trend of what the Kardashians have put out. And now they are comically interested in taking a step back and acknowledging the beauty trends that they have set. I don't think they necessarily feel bad. I just think it's one of those things where they're mad that they got caught. They're mad that people aren't gullible. They're mad that people think twice. They're mad that they've gotten called out. They're mad it's no longer exclusive. Plastic surgery used to be equated to people of a certain social class and of a certain celebrity. And now the average everyday girl who works at Amazon or Starbucks or is a lash technician or even works in a warehouse can easily go get some form of plastic surgery to look similar to what is the trendy look. The Kardashians are not mad that they influenced a generation of women to chop up their bodies or inject their bodies with different things. They're mad because it's no longer a trade secret within their brand that is somewhat reserved to them. And because of low ratings and because people just don't care as much, they're scrambling to find something that will work and stick for another few years like everything else they've done in the past. So yes, it's their fault that a lot of the beauty trends did come from what they were pushing. But most importantly, it's their fault that it's now not working out for them anymore because they should have known that you cannot promote an artificial reality to average people and expect it to be scotch-free for a long time. And what I mean by that is they can afford to do a whole bunch of different things to themselves and constantly be nipped and tucked to look the best. But the average woman would be making an investment into herself if she decides to get work done. And it is something that we have to upkeep without the luxury of extra money, access to the best physicians, and the actual feeling of caring as much as these women do. Now, I do want to kind of develop the idea of what if they actually do care about what they've done and they actually do want to acknowledge this. The only thing that I can probably guess that would be the reason why they feel this way is because they have children and their children are growing up and they're realizing that their mother really played them. I think their mom put it in their head that they have to do anything to maintain the image that she set out for them. And being that their children are offspring of a different beast that isn't as intense as Kris Jenner, I think there is some apprehension that they now have that gives them a reflection of their younger selves as women. And I don't think it's all of the sisters, but a few of them. And I think this is why they focus on the female children and promoting them more to the public versus the boys. Because all of those girls see their children as a piece to the brand. And once again, continuing the family business. So it is kind of scary to see that your child could end up with the same insecurities and the same pressure that was placed onto them. Kylie Jenner and I are the same age, and I remember watching the show when it first came out, and I was watching her as a peer. She was 10 or 11 years old, just like me at the time, and I found relatability in Kylie and Kendall when they were first on the show because they were young, innocent, and just being themselves. But I noticed that as everyone got older, Kylie developed into a robot in a sense because she doesn't really talk talk much. She seems a bit robotic at times. And I feel like she's living in a bubble where she doesn't want to deal with the backlash that she's prone to getting, because when you think about it, she is the biggest victim out of all of the siblings. So in the clip, when she says that she wishes she never touched anything, I am inclined to believe her a little bit, because I don't think this fame life was ever really for her. She was groomed into it, and I think she sees that her daughter has a choice of going down the same path as her.
But she has happily reaped the benefits of getting the surgery and changing everything. So for you to be like, wasn't she like named a billionaire? I did hear some reports saying that was fabricated by Kris Jenner, but I don't fucking know. But she's made a lot of money just based on the fact that people liked the way that she looked, and they looked at her as like this socialite or whatever the case. So for you to be like, oh no, I just want to go back to be the ugly sister and like have all my sisters outshine me and not have nearly as much success as them, I call cap. I don't believe that at all.
But I think
it
that's
sounds
the
good
job
to
of
stay
all
on the
these
show
women as mothers, to try to instill that confidence in their daughters, especially being that their
and
daughters.
would you? I'm not gonna say you wouldn't have no kids, but you wouldn't have these same ones. I highly doubt. I can't say for sure, but it's just not giving that Travis would have fucked with you with your old face. Is all I'm saying. No shame.
Not going to face the same backlash that they face. For the most part, all of the Kardashian kids are biracial, so with that black in them, they already have the upper hand in being the preference of America, and probably many other places around the world that put mixed or biracial look on a pedestal as the standard of beauty. So their loose type 3 curls, slightly tan skin, and famous parents is almost a defense mechanism, but at the same time, being that they are not normal kids, they still will be victims of the internet and the media when it comes to what they look like. I mean, when Khloe's daughter was still a newborn or an infant, she was compared so much to the other babies, with her being the darker child and looking the most black. But honestly, as I've seen the children get older, I think True is definitely going to be the showstopper. And I hope Khloe puts her in modeling. With her height and her backing, she's probably going to be very successful at it. So there was another comment that Kylie made in the preview saying that she doesn't want her daughter to do the same things that she did. I find this interesting because for the longest, the Kardashians literally told us that all they do is eat big bowls of salad and work out every day, and that's how they stay so fit. And I think eating a salad and working out every day will somewhat keep you fit, but of course, it's obvious that they negated how much cosmetic work is incorporated in that equation. So I'm inclined to believe that they all have done things themselves, with Kylie having the most work, or at least the most rapid amount of work in comparison to the rest of her sisters. And I think a lot of the comments that people have been saying about Kylie definitely have gotten to her. That's why she probably doesn't talk as much. She's not really on social media to do anything but post pictures. And if you actually watch the show, Kylie is usually the least featured sister, as it seems like she tries to avoid too much camera time. It's almost like she's the mascot of the family because she was the youngest, so they tried just about everything in regards to Kylie. Of course, Kim Kardashian was always known for having some type of famous black boyfriend, being the it girl, but the new era of what the Kardashians became through the younger sisters was throwing Kylie to the wolves, where she's around older men as a teenager. And when you develop that, you realize that a lot of young women who were exposed to older men in that regard as a teenager do tend to visualize themselves a lot older than what they are. And that's physically and internally. I think Kylie kind of embodied an older woman, and she's probably 25 internally, but on the outside, it's definitely giving 40. Just being honest. So now that people actually call this out, and the narrative has gone from Kylie Jenner being well-liked and being a trendsetter and having the Generation Z on lock, it seems to now have disturbed her. And for everyone else, it seems that she did too much. Like, part of it is that the generation of people that watched the Kardashians when they were at their highest have now grown up. I'm growing up to now realize that when I was watching it back then, it was entertaining, somewhat relatable, and just a show on TV. But now that I'm an adult, I'm realizing that there's a more malicious narrative when it comes to Kylie Jenner's brand, and all of that was done by her mom as well as the network that produced the show. It's almost like I want to feel bad for Kylie Jenner, but I don't. But in particular, because I feel like a lot of people get to this age of being in your mid or late 20s, and that's when a lot of it starts to click for you. You start to look back at the choices that you've made as a teenager or an early adult and start to really question what you want in life, and you start to try to find ways to conquer your childhood trauma. And I actually think all of the Kardashians are at that stage, especially Kylie, but I think everything in between leading up to this is why people don't really care to champion behind them, and also give them props for their acknowledgement, because it wasn't that they were honest about the things that they were doing and still made their grown choices, but they covered up a lot of the ugly backside to it and only showed us the pretty product of what they do. I would even say that the Kardashians influenced a generation of people to make biracial children. I don't think the yearning for the black dad and the white mom trope was as high 15 years ago in comparison to now, but that's another video for another day. All in all, what I think we're witnessing is the beginning of the end, if not the middle of the end. They're only acknowledging what they've done because it's no longer working, and it's almost like they're not wrong for finally talking about something that's actually serious and very true, but we all know that they will do anything to stay relevant and will do anything to make it seem like they care about things that they're also benefiting from. If I were the Kardashians and I wanted to cause controversy and get people's attention, I would just tell everybody that they're quitting the entertainment industry. Actually go ghost for like a year, like barely post or only do things that are within contracts, make people believe that they are taking a break from all of this, and then come back with a whole new brand perspective, because at least the optics would be that people would assume that they took time to really evaluate what their brand is and how it's perceived by the public. But their issue is that they're so go that they have to do things to trend every 3 weeks because it fuels their empire. Well, ladies, the end is near and I can see the light. And of course they should acknowledge the beauty standards that they have set over the years, and I would have to wait until the episode comes out to really know what they were talking about, but y'all could really save it. We know that a lot of this is the Kardashians' fault, and people are already healing. I'm not saying that every toxic beauty trend is something that they pushed or that a member of society fell victim to solely because of them, but I am saying that the general idea of the Kardashian brand, the Kardashian look, and the Kardashian influence is definitely played out, and they also know that. So that is it for this video.
Read them. Damn. I agree with a lot of what she said for sure, and it does seem like they're, you know, finally trying to admit after all these years, now y'all want to be like, oh, well, it's because we're older and we have kids and we're seeing the world different. I feel like they're as self-absorbed as they always have been, to be honest. I feel like this is all them trying to rebrand themselves because, like she said, apparently it's not working anymore. I definitely saw something on social media not so long ago about how their popularity is like dwindling in a lot of different ways, and people have like analytics showing different shit. So yeah, I'm sure they're aware of this as well. Like, people aren't watching their show as much. They're probably not getting as much engagement on their posts, probably not as much sales for the shit that they sell, like Kylie's beauty shit or whatever. I remember at one point that shit was popping and she was making bank from that, and maybe she's not making as much money. So I feel like they're only trying to make adjustments because, like she said, shit ain't working no more. So it doesn't seem like it's coming from a genuine place. That's just what I get from it. But sure, we'll see what happens. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you're going to watch, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye!